Since 2010, Wings of Liberty and 2013, Heart of Sword. 새로운 시대, 한국을 넘어 세계 최강자로 발돋움할 군단의 심장, 최초의 챔피언이 탄생한다.
기세 싸움에서 이겼어요.
그렇죠.
병력을 뺀 건 원이상입니다.
그렇죠.
마지막 앞에 지금 제대로 챙겨내라.
철벽
나왔어요.
일병력 정리합니다.
해변에 올라갔습니다.
시 엄청난 수들을 제재. 정말 결승가기 힘드네요.
1257일이나 된지 몰랐는데 일단 결승이란 무대를 맨날 상상해 왔었거든요. 근데 그 무대를 이제 올라가게 돼서 정말 기뻐요.
안녕하세요. STX 소울팀의 테란 이신영이라고 합니다. 16살.
내가 드디어 결승에 왔구나, 딱 이 생각이 들었어요.
완벽에 가까운 모습으로 서서히 성장. 생애 첫 결승에 오른 최고의 그들.
군단의 심장 들어와서는 저구 중에서는 원탑이 아닐까 생각해요.
현존하는 테란 중에 가장 잘하는 선수는 이영호 선수랑 저라고 생각하는데, 그래도 아무래도 제가 결승 왔으니까.
그 누구도 뚫지 못한 완벽한 철벽 수비. 군단의 심장 최고의 적으로 우뚝 서다. 웅진 스타 소울키 김민철. GSL 역대 최강의 죽음의 조 1위. 압도적인 저그 정답, 완벽한 스피드를 갖춘 현존 최고의 테란 STX Soul INnoVation.
군단의 심장이 저에게 다시 심장을 준 것 같아요.
군단의 심장 들어와서는 날개가 달린 그런 느낌이에요.
제가 경기력이나 외모나 모든 면에서 좀 더 낫죠.
게임 쪽에 재능이 많다고 생각하지만 기본기가 조금 부족하지 않나 싶어요.
철벽이란 그 별명에 되게 자부심을 느껴요. 쉽게 무너지지 않고 뭐 그런.
4강 보니까 멘탈이 그렇게 좋은 것 같지는 않으셔가지고
어느 누구랑 붙어도 지지 않을 자신이 있어요.
못 이길 상대라고 생각하지도 않고 또 엄청 잘하는 선수라고 생각하지도 않아서 충분히 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
4대0 아니면은 4대3이 될 것 같아요.
이긴다면 4대1이나 4대2 예상하고 있어요.
팀원을 이기고 올라온 만큼 꼭 잠을 줄여가면서라도 연습을 해서 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
결승까지 오기까지 정말 오래 걸렸는데 이번 시즌에 꼭 우승해서 우승 트로피 안겨드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
트로피에다 제 이름 새겨놓으면 될 것 같아요.
네, 오랜만에 GSL에서 테란이 우승하는 모습 꼭 보여드리겠습니다.
군단의 심장을 지배할 첫 번째 챔피언을 가린다. 2013 World Championship Korea Season 1 MANGOSIX GSL Cold Final.
Carini Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Kodes Finals. I'm Tasteful News Artosis, and this is a big day in esports history.
It certainly is, Tasteless. It is not every day, nor every finals, that you can truly say you are crowning the greatest player in the world. But today is one of those days.
No, you got that right. We've had a lot of different finals here with a lot of different players, but I gotta say, for right now where we are in Starcraft 2, we easily have the two strongest players in the entire world.
Look, everyone loves life, everyone loves partying, everyone loves MVP and Stefano, but one of them and nobody else either would ever argue that the winner tonight, Tasteless, is the best in the world.
Absolutely. It could go either way. A little bit of background for you guys here. This player right here, Soulkey, he's been training specifically with Flash to prepare for this match.
That is a big deal because Flash is the only Terran mechanically on INnoVation's level. So that is exactly who he needs to be practicing with, and the fact that Flash himself has come out and said that Soulkey is in fact the best Zerg tells me, Tasteless, that Soulkey is the best Zerg.
I gotta agree with that. And of course, his opponent, we saw him last season. I said it then and I'll say it again. I've never seen anybody play so well in my entire life of over 10 years as an RTS expert.
That's right, and look at this, a flawless player, as our Korean commentator friend does say. The best way to describe him, Tasteless, we've seen no weakness in INnoVation, none whatsoever. He's lost one best of 3 this season to Rain, and just barely by the slimmest margins.
That's so true, Artosis. You know, we've seen his bizarre playstyle, oftentimes pulling tons of SCDs at a perfect timing to kill his opponent, sometimes even 30 minutes into the game. Very different from the stuff we saw early on in the early days of Wings of Liberty. So both these guys, so strong, so scary.
That is right, but Soulkey's gonna have to come out with something a little bit special today if he's gonna win.
All right, we're gonna go to the interview now, and we'll get that translated for you guys to see what their thoughts are going into this match.
이긴다라고 말씀해 주셨습니다. 우선 결승전에 올라온 소감 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
아까까지만 해도 실감이 좀 안 났는데 이제서야 좀 실감이 나는 것 같아요. 좀 힘들게
I didn't really feel that I was in the finals today, but now that I'm on stage, I can now feel it. I'll try to show great matches to the fans today.
테란 원탑으로 불리는 이신영 선수가 트리플만 가져가면은 적을 압살했죠. 죽음의 주 비조에서 우승자 출신의 선수를 한 명 한 명 제끼면서 이 자리까지 올라왔습니다. 이신영 선수 지금 속으로는 무조건 내가 김민철 이긴다. 막 연습하는 상대도 필요 없다. 우리 팀원만으로 김민철이 이긴다라고 이야기를 했어요. 자, 그 인터뷰 보셨을 텐데 오늘 어떠신지 각오 한 말씀.
How do you feel?
테란들은 다 거기서 거기라고 생각하고 있거든요. 이신영 선수도 똑같은 테란이라고 생각하고 있고 오늘 좀 쉽게 이길 수 있을 거라고 생각하고 있어요.
네. 오늘 쉽게 이긴다. 아무리 이신영이 잘해봤자 테란이고 테란 해봤자 저거 미치다라고 이야기를 했어요. 결승전에 5년 만에 처음으로 올라왔는데 김민철을 만났습니다. 한 말씀 해주셔야죠.
예, 정말 결승 무대에 한 번쯤 꼭 오르고 싶다는 생각을 했는데 이렇게 오르게 돼서 기쁘고 오늘 기대하셔도
I wanted to be in the finals for a long time, and I'm very happy that I'm finally here. Please look forward to today's matches.
기대하셔도 좋다고 이야기해 주셨는데 오늘 뭐 인터뷰 내에서는 김민철 선수가 특훈을 했죠. 이영호 선수와도 연습을 하고 어제는 또 문성원 선수가 숙소 가서 잠까지 자면서 오늘 이신영 선수 완벽하게 파헤칠 준비를 하고 끝냈대요. 승률도 좋았답니다. 그런데도 지금 마음 편하세요? 어떠세요 오늘 경기?
How do you feel about that?
예, 저보다 잘하는 테란이 그래도 지금 없기 때문에 크게 상관 안 하고요. 예.
No other Terran is better than me. It doesn't matter who you practice with.
네, 서로 오늘 경기 자신감을 지금 내비치고 있습니다. 그렇게 준비를 많이 하고 온 김민철 선수도 이신영 선수에게는 적을 뿐이다. 뭐 오늘 이 자리에서 수많은 팬분들 보는 앞에서 몇 대 몇을 경기 끝낼 건지 뭐 각오 한번 하고 던지고 한번 시작하죠.
What is your determination going into the finals? I'll defeat him 4-1.
4대1이요. 이신영 선수가 김민철 선수는 그냥 적을 보내고 싶다. 4대1 정도는 가볍게 끝내겠다고 이야기를 했어요. 오늘 경기
What score do you predict for this
몇 대 몇
match?
예상하세요?
4대 0으로
Like I
이긴다고
said in the
했거든요.
interview,
오늘 4대 0으로
4-0 is probably going to be today's score. I'll end the match 4-0.
4대 0과 4대 1 이 두 명의 선수가 결승전에 엄청난 자신감을 내비치고 있습니까? 그러면 시작해봐야죠. 자,
players now shaking hands and going to their respective booths. Those booths are soundproof, as they will not be able to hear the Korean commentators as we analyze their strategies.
That is right. Tasteless, we heard a 4-0 and a 4-1 prediction from those guys. What do you think?
I'm thinking it's going to be a 4-3, but I don't know which way. I actually, I'll lean a little bit towards innovation here. How about you?
I'm going to go 4-3 innovation. If 4-2 is the biggest I'll give on either side.
Check down.
All right, and it looks like we are moments away from getting this game going. So much pressure here. Heart of the Swarm still in its infancy. The history books, chapter 1, will be written today.
That is right, Tasteless. This is insanity. I cannot believe it that we actually do have the best Zerg versus best Protoss. I mean, the best Zerg versus best Terran.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare that we actually have the best two players in the world in the finals. A lot of times the brackets screw things up, but just watching their games, everyone's like, yeah, no, this is basically, the group of death may have had some amazing players in it, but these are the best two right here. And this should be our best finals ever.
What a treat to cast this. I don't think it's going to be one-sided, but these guys do, these two players here. What do you expect, man?
Well, I expect it actually pretty close overall. If Soulkey has actually had Flash to practice with, he's ready for the mechanical skill of innovation, which is the biggest problem when facing him. Also, Soulkey has done pretty well against innovation. They played twice in Pro League recently and went 1-1. He's really the only Zerg that's taken a game off innovation in a very long time, aside from a couple all-ins from Symbol.
Yeah, innovation, he's got that weird style, very good at being aggressive, knows exactly when you're weakened up, that he can come in there and do the kill move. At the same time, Soulkey, he's one of these players that, and this is what you see when you have a perfect Zerg, is there really doesn't look like there's any weakness or a hole in his play style, so that you can try to engineer something to come around that. So this is going to be a pretty wild finals, man.
Yeah, it certainly is. I really liked how Innovation pointed out that he thinks that Soulkey is very talented but might be lacking some in fundamentals. And fundamentals to me, and I think to him, means more of the mechanical aspect, like does he hit every larva inject, that type of thing. And in the early and mid game, that's going to be the most important part of the whole match.
Now, we've seen Innovation, for instance, occasionally use a few cheeses here and there. It actually reminds me a lot of MVP from Wings of Liberty, who was able to use the exact right builds in the exact right order. And this is one of the things you got to keep in mind, guys, in a best of 7, is it's very important what strategies and what order you bring them out.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't seen Soulkey do as much all-ins or cheese. Do you expect that to be different here today?
I think there's definitely going to have to be cheeses on both sides. These players are actually too good to just play macro games against each other, as funny as that may sound, but we're going to have to see some all-ins. And the ones from Soulkey, he's going to have to plan and execute perfectly, because as we saw in the last round of Innovation versus Symbol, Innovation somehow sniffs out every cheese that's coming.
Well, that and Innovation's control has been so perfect coming into this. It's been absolutely incredible. We're talking about picking up, or dropping, I should say, Hellbats onto Banelings during a big attack. All sorts of stuff to just eke out that win. He's so good at fanning those Marines, Marauders once stemmed, so you got to watch out for that as well.
Seriously. I'm actually just so stoked, man. I wish we could just get right into these games.
Yeah, I know,
I wish it was like a best of 50 instead of a, I need to get into these games because I want to see, can someone stop Innovation? Can Soulkey look, at least for the whole series, like he's on the same level?
Yeah, I've been casting RTS games for almost 10 years now. I'm playing for even longer along with you. I've never seen anybody like Innovation. The closest I've seen it to is Flash.
Yeah.
But right now I'm saying Innovation looks a little bit better than Flash. Just a little bit better.
It's a bit reminiscent of what Flash looked like, where you're like, well, this is perfect play. Now, you have to also play perfect if you want to beat him. But we haven't seen perfect Zerg play actually exist yet. We haven't seen something that we can look at and be like, okay, mechanically this is 100% efficiency and this is perfect control in every situation. Zerg plays a little bit different, so it just hasn't quite evolved to that level yet. But Soulkey has been practicing non-stop against specifically Terran, against the right opponents, to be able to maybe show us this first iteration of like a perfect looking Zerg.
I think a lot of this is going to boil down to the first 2 games. that are played here today. That's going to set the pace, set the momentum. And then we'll have to see. A lot of it's also going to boil down to the map order. You get a map like Whirlwind, Soulkey's going to do very well on that.
Sure. But I wouldn't count either of these guys out on any map. A lot of matches we'll look at and we'll be like, well, I'm not sure that Symbol's going to be able to take this map or something. And the thing is, well, yeah, maybe the 3rd or 4th best Zerg in the world, you can do that too. But these guys are at such a level that they will have the perfect plan for each map, which kind of discounts in a situation like this. You're going to play each map one time. You're at the end of the tournament. This is all that matters. You pull out every stop. Individual maps aren't going to matter as much because they'll have perfect plans for them.
Yeah, I got to agree. By the way, it is packed in here. There are so many people. We actually have people that can't fit into our stadium now.
Oh, yeah.
The lobby's full. And by the way, just in case you didn't know, because I get asked this all the time, entry to our studio is free.
Yeah.
Even the finals like this, you don't have to reserve
It's
a
free.
seat or anything like that. So definitely come down early.
Yeah,
because
people have been waiting outside for hours. And quite a long line indeed. There's so
we got
many
here
people
earlier
here.
than normal for our day of casting today. And it was so packed. Lots
Insane,
of non-Koreans, obviously lots of Koreans as well. Starcraft 2 continue to get more and more popular in Seoul, Korea.
That's right. By the way, guys, get on Reddit, get on Twitter, talk about GSL, hashtag GSL, because everyone needs to watch this match. This is going to be one of those matches where you're like, remember the day when INnoVation played Soulkey. It was amazing.
Yeah, never forget what you're going to see here today. This is a huge moment in esports history. This is going to set the pace for Heart of the Swarm for years to come, and it's going to change the metagame in this matchup incredibly on every server on the ladder.
That's right. Let's take a look at how these guys got here now. As you can see over on the Soulkey side, he's played quite a few Terrans on his way. Mostly Protosses more lately, though, so that does actually factor into it. Less games for INnoVation to study recently. And that's the most important thing, the recently part. Whereas with INnoVation, you look at it, and his last 3 opponents were all Zerg players. So there are a lot of games out there for Soulkey to look at and be like, okay, I know how INnoVation plays when he has to win.
Yeah, you make a very good point, and there is a certain amount of time that these guys had here to prepare for this.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you guys, all they did up until today was play StarCraft.
Yeah, and guys, look at the list of players INnoVation beat. Hyun, finalist. Rain, twice. He's a champion. Flash, he's Flash. Life Roro Symbol. Are you kidding me? 2 champions and a finalist.
Yeah.
Like, absolute madness. One of the hardest roads that we've ever seen anyone go down.
Well, this guy is a legend killer. When I see players like INnoVation, for instance, Soulkey as well, I wonder, how long are they going to stay on top? Are they going to go out with a bang, or are they going to burn like a long flame here?
Yep. By the way, look at this. Oh, I love it.
God.
Soulkey has a loss to INnoVation and a loss to Flash, whereas there's 1 loss to Soulkey over on INnoVation side. So as you can see, these 2 were meant to play against each other today.
Only INnoVation can beat Soulkey, but also only Soulkey can beat INnoVation.
It's kind of crazy
It's
to see
wild.
something
That
like
is
this.
such a
Things like this do not happen. We are so lucky to actually have this as our finals.
This is going to be a real treat. Again, hashtag GSL on Twitter.
Yes.
Further, feel free to tweet at us who you think's going to win. I'm Call Me Tasteless.
And I am Artosis.
This is going to be wild, man.
It certainly is.
All right,
Well-
here's our map lineup. Map number 1 is going to be Star Station, then Belshear Vestige, Whirlwind, DF Atlas, GSL, Red City, Akalon Wastes, and Daybreak.
As soon as I see this map lineup, I just start to think about DRG MMA finals for some reason. I feel like Daybreak has kind of gone into a similar place that Shakura's Plateau was as far as the map pool, the relation to the map pool. I just want to throw that out there, just a little feeling that I just got in the pit of my stomach.
I got to agree with you. It's been around long enough. We definitely know what to expect. Not a lot of surprises here on Daybreak.
Yeah. Well, let's see. You said you thought the first 2 maps would be very, very important. That's Star Station and Belshear Vestige.
I think those can go either way.
They certainly can.
Players.
I have to agree.
And that's why I was looking at those 2 and saying, well, these are really, really important. But we'll see. You never know what to expect with these 2 guys.
Yeah. A couple of coaches being shown right here.
Yep. Oh, man, this is going to be so sick. I can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us here. We are getting closer and closer to getting to these
That's right.
The first game.
We are so close now, Tasteless.
Every-
It is tense in here.
It is getting pretty wild, man. Now, keep in mind, guys, every single map they're going to have a specific strategy for, and it's going to come out in a different order on each of these maps. So there's a lot of planning going on in here. And you're really going to be able to mix up your play style when you're in a best of 7 like this.
Yes, you certainly do. And we're going to see plenty of that, I think, Tasteless. These two have entire Kespa teams behind them, helping them.
No, these guys end up with an army of training partners.
Yes.
So much backing, so much preparation, and it looks like it's time. So get ready. We're here in Seoul, Korea, the mecca of esports, and we're about to see the 2 best StarCraft 2 players in the world duke it out in the first GSL Kodes Heart of the Swarm Finals. Get ready. It's time. Introducing our players over here in the upper left. Currently the greatest Zerg player alive. He is
웅진스타 소울키.
Looks like he has a lot of adrenaline in his system right now.
Well, of course he's got to. Over here in the bottom left, we have our Terran player. Some say he's the best in the world. He is.
STX Soul INnoVation.
You know, it's really interesting going into this. Both these guys so confident against the other player. We occasionally see a lot of, oh my God. All right, I'll get onto that stuff later. We have a double proxy racks. He did not spot that, right?
No, he did not, Tasteless, and that is a double 12 racks right there.
This is what I was talking about early on. I said, you know, we've seen INnoVation cheese a little bit. He's been pretty good about when he's going to deliver this. I think this is probably the better way to cheese in a best of 7 is in game number 1. You're still not showing your play style.
I think it's maybe the best spot to do this in, actually.
Yeah.
And also because it is Star Station in a GSL, we have 2 possible spawn locations.
Getting closer. Getting closer.
Man. Oh, man.
And
oh, my God.
All right,
there we go.
He spotted that as late as possible, though.
Yeah, that's pretty late. He already had started his pool, so it wouldn't have changed the pool timing, but now he's got to concentrate, Tasteless. This game is going to be fast and furious.
Yeah, it's every unit counts, every SCV, every drone. Now, building a bunker out of range of the hatchery, he will leapfrog bunkers forward from here. 3 drones coming down now, but a Marine is not too far away.
I love this. He's making him commit those drones so far down, chasing them back now, and if he can get that bunker up, Tasteless, as you said, he can leapfrog forward very quickly.
More drones are being pulled. The bunker 70% complete. Can the drones get here in time?
Now he's got some extra SCVs, so even if he gets that SCV, the bunker's probably going to finish. Now the drones do have to run back, and he's going to start yet another bunker.
All right, now what he can do here with the Marines to actually run back towards that bunker. The drones trying to get a block, and they do not.
Oh, so many drones going down. A huge lead for INnoVation already, and he's going after that spine crawler.
All right, that spine crawler has to finish a second bunker. Not only being made, but also creating somewhat of a wall here, so these lings will have to run around.
Oh, this is looking already too good for INnoVation. Can Soulkey get that magical surround? He starts to, but INnoVation, he has too many Marines.
This may be the tipping point here. The Marines now going to try to get to this bunker. The drones are trying to block.
And it looks, Tasteless, like he may have done it here. If he can get rid of that spine crawler, that's going to be it.
He's being very careful with these SCVs, not to bring them up too soon. It's getting low. It's in the red. It's in the red. It's in the red. The second bunker finishes.
And he does kill that bunker, but the second bunker has finished. It's full of Marines, and down goes the spine. GG! Wow.
Unbelievable. A grin you saw a moment ago on INnoVation's face as he says he's that much closer to becoming the first GSL Kodes Heart of the Swarm champion.
And look at the relief on his face. What a great way for him to open up the series, get all that adrenaline out of your system with a very easy to execute and well-placed bunker rush.
You know, I got to go back and think about that Overlord there. Had it been angled slightly differently, it could have spotted those barracks a little bit quicker, but in this case, they didn't.
Well, I tell you, even if he spotted that, it would have been pretty hard to hold. It was really great bunker placement. I loved how INnoVation started far out just to make sure he had one no matter what.
Yeah, really smart. He was able to then retreat back to that bunker. I like the third bunker being placed there to create somewhat of a wall, so that the moment that the Lings actually came down, they were unable to surround that bunker to get in there. And even when the second bunker was killed, the third was done.
Yeah, it was just beautifully, perfectly mapped out by INnoVation. And again, I think that first off, map one, Star Station, and especially because in GSL we have Star Station where he could have spawned directly across diagonally or directly above/below. So
that's very true.
It's harder to practice a map like that anyways. So to plan a cheese on that map because of the different types of games you have to practice.
Fortune was on his side back there. Fortune was on his side because those barracks are put on the left side, not the right side. And rushes like that, it's when time, every single second really counts.
Every single second.
So having that, the two barracks there, the Overlord, the trajectory, the path that was going across on the map, not the most efficient for spotting that, telling me that I don't think Soulkey was really expecting a severe all-in rush like that.
Yeah,
he did have that drone out, but he was not looking as thoroughly as he could have.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like he was expecting that. So a great opening by INnoVation. I got to tell you, Tasteless, this Terran player is so good. I don't know about you, but I'm a member of the INnoNation.
We're going to go to a short little break, and when we get back, we're going to continue to see the drama unfold here between Soulkey and INnoVation. Stay